Hello, everybody. The typical YouTube intro. Welcome to episode 11 of Voices of Enoch. And today we're going to be going over the massive updates that were announced, including the New Horizon update and all its goodies, and something that I wasn't expecting, that Capo knew about, dirty secret like S tier ambassador Capo, was there's also going to be a DLC called Worldslayer for the campaign that's coming out in 2022. So I guess we could start off with that teaser trailer for Worldslayer real quick, just because it was kind of hot. But hopefully the update brings a lot more to Outriders than just a campaign story, right? But we can speculate that at another time. But it was a nice little teaser that I wasn't expecting. Is all I have to say there. Capo, motherfucker, you holding out?
I mean, I'm kind of disappointed now that
What you mean?
I know that we didn't see a new character.
I don't. I'm okay. I can see why, but this is how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it. You know what? Give us a little update. See how that works out, right? Whatever little kinks that you may have, and take your time and give us that big, juicy DLC, and make sure that it's good. You don't think so?
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I just know that there's
I'm
more
not.
now, and I'm just I'm just impatient, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I
that's
was joking. I was just saying the trailer, didn't show us a lot, but yeah.
Showed Moloch's sister. Stand by it. It's Moloch's sister.
Yeah. I mean,
Why would it be Moloch's sister?
I don't know.
Did I miss something in the lore, or?
No, I don't know. I don't know anything about the campaign. It just looks like Moloch's sister. Moloch's
Absolutely.
sister.
I think that's great, man. And I think you know what's coming. I think a brand new campaign. I think more expeditions, different type of expedition, maybe in a different type of the map. I think at that moment we're gonna get a new class. I mean, that's
Okay,
good.
new class would be pretty hype, though. That would be.
I think that's what's coming because, I mean, I think at that point now you can charge us, right?
Yeah, at that point, charge. Sure.
Yeah. At that point,
it all depends how well tomorrow goes and how that sets the tone. But we can get more to that here in just a bit. I guess we can start off on that actually, with one of the new changes for New Horizon coming, and one that a lot of people were asking for was the expedition timers to be removed. And if you actually go into the section for the expedition timers to be removed, they actually have a lot of detail, and they've actually spread out some like new reward structure as well.
They have. They absolutely have.
Capo or Big Daddy or Palm, one of you guys wanna go through that?
The timers?
Yeah, the timers, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty simple. Basically, now loot is not locked behind timers. So instead of, you get a certain time and you get the best loot possible, now the loot will be set based on the expedition length, right? So basically, they looked at each map and how long, the average clear time was.
Yep.
And gave a certain amount of loot based on how long the map is, right? So not only does it remove the timer limit on all the expeditions, but it also gives you a better reason to do the longer expeditions because they give more loot now compared to before,
Yep.
where you could just do Boomtown over and over again.
Right.
Yeah. So one thing that they mentioned, sorry, Capo, is just that different expeditions based on their time will give you different amount of gear and drop pod resources. And if you want a direct link at that where they mention it, it's here, right here. If you want to look at the table live. Sorry, Capo, go ahead.
This is not saying that I'm upset.
Are you dressed?
What do you mean you're upset?
I'm not saying that I'm upset. This is a conversation that I had with Toby. We've had this conversation several times. And the question is, what do you think about the timer? What do you think about the timer? What do you think about the timer? And I never change my position on it. I truly believe that at this point, it was just an scapegoat, right, for some players. I mean, I could be wrong. You could, we could have a different of opinions. But do I think the change is good? Yes. The way they went with it, yes. My thing is, at the end of the day, right? Let's say, for example, Coliseum. Okay, Coliseum, in order for you to get gold, would have had to be sub 12 minutes. and you got golded, you got the max amount of loot. I personally felt that like at this point you remove the timer, people are still, and I think me and not Big Dude with the Blunt had this conversation where now the conversation is gonna go turn into, well, yeah, I want to run Coliseum, but it takes me 25 minutes, and we're watching Plato Bear, or we're watching Dawson, or we're watching whoever the case may be, Maffeine or Moxie or Nick too, and they do Coliseum in sub 10, right? It's gonna get kind of old, and now we're gonna go back to the same conversation that we were about timers, but now it's gonna be like, oh yeah, it's buff this because it's not as efficient as that. You know what I'm saying? And it's only a matter of time. And that's always been my argument. That's always been my stance. That's always what I've always looked at. You know what I mean? Um, it's one of those things where I just felt like, is it a good change? Absolutely. Community's happy. They get to do their things. The speed runners get to go in there. They could change. They could put the timer on and they could go speed run. And now you have options. And the thing about varieties of builds, yeah, you can do that, but it's gonna get you to the point where you are only have 2 hours to play, and you can only run that expedition maybe 6 times, while the next man is running it, 16 times. And
I mean,
now
I
what?
guess that's only really an issue when you need the gear, and afterwards, once you get the gear, it's not that much. But for the grind, I
Yeah,
definitely, yeah. For the grind, like, I think for early game, these timers changes are huge, right? Because there's no more gold, silver, bronze anymore, right? You can take your time early game when you don't have good enough gear, and you still get a chance to upgrade your gear and progress your way. What I think a bigger issue is going to happen is I think it's going to be an Eye of the Storm meta now, since it provides
yes,
the most everything, right? Like, why run any other expedition now when you can run Eye of the Storm in
yeah.
sub 4 minutes and get the best possible everything, right?
Not really. I mean, yeah, you could take your time with Eye of the Storm now. You can get 4 legendaries and you get an extra one to choose from. I think that's great.
Yeah, which
I
is,
think that's great, but
I mean, I guess my biggest fear is like if Outriders just become more of like gets more viewers from this and the DLC coming forward, etc. What the carry meta is going to look like, and it's definitely going to look a little different. It might just be like an Eye of the Storm spam, honestly.
fix
But
me.
we'll see. Yeah,
You need to fix me, Plato.
I need to fix you, yes, sir. I knew that was going to happen when the Maffeine joined, so give me a sec here.
I mean, you're not
Speaking of,
wrong.
hello,
Like for
Maffeine.
farming, Eye of the Storm is pretty pretty efficient now.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I honestly truly think that was really good. I think that was a good change. Um and yeah, like GG's. Like I said, I'm not against it. I just see it as, it's gonna be one of those things where we're gonna, you know, people are eventually gonna start complaining again, if you ask me.
Maffeine, your thoughts on the timer? Because I know you may have some words to say about the timer change as well. There you go, Kappa. Fixed you as best as I could.
Thank you.
Oh, just kidding. Maffeine's muted for now. No worries. Palm, your thoughts on the timer? Real
No,
quick.
I'm
nope,
here.
Maffeine's here. Maffeine's thoughts on the timer. Sorry.
I mean, I don't see harm in it since it's an option now. I mean, if you want to, take your time, roll with it. I think it would be nice to have maybe an incentive to have a timer though, like maybe more rewards for completing it proper. Maybe they should have added like a platinum rating for faster completion or something along those lines. But I
Maybe like
think
an accolade or something, right?
yeah, like
something along the lines of that. Yeah.
having an option there for no timer. I think it's a positive thing.
Absolutely. Agree.
I mean, there's an option. There's no harm in it. It's good
Right.
for it in every aspect.
Had it just been removed, I think that would have been a problem. But yeah, just making it optional, I think is a good idea.
Yeah. Well, I don't like I said, I don't think it's about speed running. I just think that the argument on why the timer shouldn't be there is invalid because it's gonna come up again. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's about speed running, and I definitely want that. The goal is just to get gold. And I don't, at the end of the day, I've done, help with the community, and some of them has been 6 minutes, some of them has been 10 minutes. It doesn't matter. I'm helping you just to get gold. I think is the argument, because we're gonna get to that point again. It's only a matter of time when we get there. You know what I'm saying? Because Dude with the Blunt has always said it. It's about having fun. And you're not going to have fun when you're sitting in an expedition for 40 minutes because you're trying to make a mod or a build work. That just is not going to work. You know what I mean?
It
It's
might be
just
fun
not
for
going to
the
happen.
theory crafters, though, right? As a counter argument. But I agree. Maybe at that point, even if you're theory crafting 40 minutes in a map, I think that's where you stop that theory crafting, right?
Right. What is the point of timers? Just to say, no, not to say, hey, I do this faster. It's to say, hey, I did it at this time, which allocates me to get better loot than someone else, right? Because at this point, I'm just big on rewarding people that's that's uh that that do a good job. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah, no,
you
I get
if
it.
you take yourself out of the average and now you're above average or you're excellent, you know what I'm saying? I should be able to be, a little bit more rewarded. But that's, like I said, once again, I'm not saying that it's bad. I think it's great for the community, and at the end of the day, overall, the community is what matter. I'm just
Yeah.
giving my point of view. And at the end of the day, if you're that individual that has excelled and improved and is able, then yeah, I should be able to be rewarded a little bit better than the individual that just is doing subpar. That's my point.
I mean, I would have liked it if they added some sort of like other rewards, behind a timer, which
Right.
I think would have been nice, as like another
Right.
accolade or accomplishment, like maybe an emote or something, right? A locked behind it or something like that. But overall, I think there's like literally zero harm in this. It's great for people that are starting to play the game, just getting to those expedition tier levels, because I can say this: if I started playing the game now, I'd be thankful for the loot not being behind a timer, because I think ultimately that was the biggest issue, was loot being locked behind a timer.
Absolutely.
But it's a great change. Thank you for the option, and everybody's happy here, so can't really fault it.
I think
moving
this is one
forward. Oh,
situ-
sorry. Go ahead, Maff.
I think this is one situation where like more of an implementation of like cosmetics and like other, options to customize your character would be useful, like for like hitting that like next level, like Eye of the Storm in, I don't know, 3 minutes or something, like having like very, it's like for you guys, obviously that's not difficult, but like, that's like, that'd be like the equivalent of like hitting the highest rank in like a comp game or something. Like reward people that hit that extra mile of like speed.
Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe in the Worldslayer update, maybe we can
That's a fine
plug
change,
some ears
honestly.
as new ambassadors, Maffeine. Maybe I can be like, hey, maybe X, Y, and Z we could be added. Like a little extra accolade for doing something a little bit faster.
I mean, that's nice, but I think there's already avenues for people like that, right, to get the satisfaction of the competitive aspect. So I don't think PCF needs to really worry about that, especially because when you turn the timer on, it also turns the table on, so you can see all your fastest completion times, right? So
Yep.
so sure,
Yeah.
you don't have like a specific push in the game for to go faster, but I don't think PCF needs to worry about that
No,
personally.
no.
Yeah.
And also, to bring to go back to the timer, I think also something people underestimate is the psychological effect of a timer, right? Like you see the timer go up, and it can make you feel bad about your gameplay. It's like a negative reinforcement aspect of the game in some ways. So I can see why it's just a positive change in general.
Yep. And I think somebody mentioned online leaderboards. I don't think that's going to happen in Outriders at all. Especially with the easy anti-cheat system, be super easy to get past that. That's one thing that they didn't mention. This is off topic, but maybe they'll mention the trainer stuff at a later time, or figure out a way to deal with that. But regardless, let's go ahead and move on from timers to the next topic with the update. Just going to go down the list here, and that's the 4 new expeditions that's being added. They're adding 4 new expeditions called the Molten Depths, which looks like it's part of the Mountain Outpost area. The City of Nomads, which looks like Uttergak, actually. The Marshall Complex, and then the Wellspring. These were announced as free additions to this New Horizon. I mean, everything about New Horizon is free, but what they did mention is each one of these expeditions being a little bit different in, compared to the other 4 expeditions. So I think Capo has the most insight on this because he actually was able to play these 4 maps during his play testing. So Capo, yeah, lead the way on this one here.
They're great. By far, what's it called? The Molten. That is by far the most that resembles all the other expeditions. Obviously the mapping, the outlay, the overlay of the maps, right? Nothing's really changed. Nothing really new. It's not like they're gonna wow us, right? That's definitely not the aspect. But as far as enemies, the other 3 seem to have a little bit more of abundance of ads. I know, like I said, if I said it on my stream earlier when I showed it. At one time, man, I had 6 elites on the map. So that was actually really, really, really exciting. It was really fun. It gave us that aspect of trying to figure it out again. You know what I mean? They're really good. I enjoyed myself. Like I said, that's why I was really excited. I'm really excited for you guys to get your hands on it, and start, going through figuring things out, as we all tend to do. Um, City of Nomads. I'm having a brain fart with the names of them right now. Give me a second.
This one says, "Will confront you with the character who is haunted by the sins of his past, very
I will
aware
tell
of
you
his
this.
dark history."
That one right there, okay. There's one that there is a new boss. There is a new.
Only one of them has the new boss?
That's the only one where I noticed it. Like I'm telling you, when we played this, because we didn't have regular characters that had, our builds and we could do that, we kind of were like overwhelmed. We were kind of overwhelmed. You know what I mean? We were like, oh shit, fuck, I wish I had this, I had that. We were kind of overwhelmed. But there was one, man, and holy crap, this guy was going from one end to the other end, and
I think
I don't want to give it away. I do not
Yeah.
want to give it away. But that's one of the maps where not only were we had to deal with him, but then you had, your regular captains that teleport from one end to the other. So if you're trying to do damage to the cremator, well, now you got a captain that's behind you. So it kind of made things exciting. We were like, holy shit. And obviously comms weren't recorded in our videos, but it was like, all right, no, I'm gonna go over here. No, okay, yeah, you go over there. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It was really, really, really exciting. That's the one that I did notice a brand new captain. I didn't even get his name because we were too busy running around. But for the rest of them, I'm gonna tell you right now, there is an abundance of alphas. Broodmother, just get used to Broodmother. Love Broodmother. You better dream of Broodmother and captains. That is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get an abundance. Every room you go to, there's gonna be a Broodmother and there's gonna be several captains. Okay. So you're gonna have to be quick on your feet. And you're gonna have to, move because
we'll see how that end game boss works, because I was hoping for more like super big
there's no
boss
new
battles.
mechanics.
You know what
Nah,
I mean?
I mean, there's
Like
only
the story
really
spider one comes to mind, because that was a really fun boss battle. Like something of that scale would have been nice, I think. But
you get one of those again, but
you get one of those again. Yeah.
you do get one of those, but everything else is just basically an abundance, man. I don't want to say you're overwhelmed, but it's not like, as you're running. What's a good map? Maybe I like to say Boomtown, because Boomtown always come to mind with all the ads. You know how they're so um they're just there and they're everywhere in every room. That's just basically it. And the rooms are pretty much they're a little bit bigger. Well, nah, they are bigger. Um, but it's fun. Like I said, I mean, we enjoyed ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We legitimately enjoyed ourselves trying to figure out which way to move or whatever the case may be. Um, and the spawning of the enemies. You know how you have like maybe 1, 2, or 3 spawn points. Now there's more. So uh for the guys that once you get done running through these expeditions and you figure things out and now you want to start speed running it, I think that's going to be really fun for you guys to get your hands around that and figure it out, and especially with the builds. That's definitely going to be a big thing. I know we're going to talk about that later, but the expeditions, they're pretty good along with the Easter eggs. Okay. So I will tell you this. I know of 2. We completed 1. The other one, our time ran out, so we weren't able to finish it. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. I know YouTube eventually is going to spoil it for you guys, but I'm going to give you the opportunity. And one of them makes a very funny reference to something that I was like, holy shit, GG's. And if you paid
Capo, you should.
attention
I was gonna say you
to
should
the
tell me
broadcast,
anyways.
no,
I
if
can
you
make the
paid
YouTube
attention to
video.
the
Yeah.
broadcast, if you paid attention to the broadcast today, they kind of gave it away a little bit. But I'm not going to tell you. You probably
You're
didn't
gonna tell
catch
me.
it. No, I'm not. We're gonna. I want you guys to figure this one out. If you don't go to YouTube to go fucking, be like, all right, where is it? But I will tell you that it's funny, and the reward that's in there, it's like, oh, okay. It's not a regular reward, by the way. And I'm not saying it's a legendary. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying that you go in there and it's like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? So no, it's not a cannonball reference. It's absolutely not a cannonball reference, and it's worth you doing. All right, so
Yeah.
I will leave that out for you guys,
Good
and I
to
think
know.
that was a nice
Good to
little
know.
touch. The Easter egg was a nice little touch.
Yeah,
But no new
excited.
mechanics, no new enemies. Obviously, we would have to wait for Worldslayers for that.
Which will be hot. Hopefully it's like early 2022 for that and not like, late 2022, but I'm okay if PCF takes their time with it to make it hot as it can be. Moving on from the new maps, let's go ahead and move forward to the Transmog System, which I know a lot of people were super excited to hear. I was looking at the stream chat and people got super excited when Transmog was announced. The chat was rolling in the Square Enix live stream, people were going ham. I'm excited for it. We don't get to look like NPC characters anymore, which is great. You can add a little more flair to it. Glad that they're making it free and no microtransactions. But now that they have Transmog as a base, I want more from Transmog, in terms of
I'm surprised. I'm surprised, honestly, that they didn't make us pay for gold Delt shields or something.
That would have been hot. I would have done it.
Maybe.
I would have done it.
Well, I would tell you this. I know they've always said, even before the game release, no microtransactions will ever be in Outriders.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, they've always said that. So, Transmog is great. You could be a Techno and look like a Devastator.
I mean, it's gonna be confusing.
It's not.
It's gonna be super confusing for a minute.
No, I don't think so. I mean, you get the symbol in the top right.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's a problem. I'm just saying, for a moment, I'm gonna see Devastators shooting their gun and wondering what the hell's going on.
You're gonna see a Devastator shooting blighted rounds, and you're like, wait a minute, what the fuck, Plato? What are you, Dev?
Yeah.
I think that's great. I think that's great.
I know Palm's super excited about wearing all rusted gear, right, Palm?
Oh, yep. Remember, everything's be rusty. Fill out that rusty dream. Can't wait.
But yeah, I don't know. I think Transmog is one of those things that'll make everybody's character their own. Unless you're like super meming like Palm will with the rusted gear and stuff. There's a few Transmog stuff that I know I want to fuck around with. But yeah, I think the bigger deal for Transmog is actually collecting all the gear and the new weapons that they're releasing as well, right? Skins and whatnot to complete that Transmog collection. I'm sure there's a new accolade that's going to get added to complete your Transmog. So like for your completionists out there, I think more accolades are going to be added from this update as well. Cannonball every character. I don't know about that Wolverine, but I know Maffeine has pros to say about Transmog because it's really not a con in any way that they included this. I just wish, I hope not wish, but I hope they look into other ways to make Transmog more personalized, right? Like the gold Death Shield skin or something in the next update, without having microtransactions involved, like an accolade that unlock like a gold version of every gun type or a gun skin or something like that. No, just something to make it a bit more fun and make it
like
something
kill
that
the
everybody can do.
Kill a boss with a certain gun so many times, and then now you can
Be
have
something
that.
like COD too, get a certain amount of kills with a gun
Yeah.
and you unlock skins for it.
Yep.
Nothing
Yep.
crazy, something simple like that.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
Kane, that's actually a good question to ask, and that's something I mentioned over my live reaction video. Is we don't know. What Capo, will you let us know? So Kane asks, so is it going to take into account all the stuff?
If you have it, you'll have it.
If you have it, you'll have it. So yes, it includes everything that you currently own.
Now, if it's not in there, or you've because the way it works is once you pick it up, like the game sends like, okay, hey, this person has picked this up. Now there's the transmog. So after asking that question, we legitimately say we asked, we had a representative with us, and we was like, hey, so the gear that we have, he was like, yep, once it goes live, you have the gear. If you have it, you have it. You know what I'm saying? Yes. They won't. I don't think that's another conversation that I've had with Toby about the third mod slot. That's not gonna be a thing. I mean, guys like fucking Plato and Palm and fucking big fucking dude with a blunt, myself, Maffeine, like all these diehard Outriders fans will crazy. We'll make an insane build. So that's definitely not gonna be a thing.
And it
I
also
don't
just
know if they
adds to all
increase
the
it.
bugs and stuff that can happen as well. So
Yeah, and
it's
I
a little
just
too
think that
much.
I mean, yeah, no, I don't, no, we don't see that happening.
But yeah, you bring
But
up a
yeah,
good point, Kane. As far as like the early game drops, you're just gonna have to get creative, I guess. Get lucky, make some new characters, go through the campaign, get some of that early gear drops. That's probably just the best way to do about it, honestly. Is target farm certain campaign areas over and over again, and then if you level up and you're past that threshold, well, time to make a new character. It's gonna kind of be grindy, and I wish there was a better system set up for that, but it is what it is, I suppose.
I mean,
But yeah,
considering
overall,
you're doing all this for cosmetics, I feel like you know, it's just my opinion, but I feel like they don't need to make cosmetics works perfectly.
yeah.
But that'd be nice. As far as like different skins for certain accomplishments for certain guns, like Palm and Capo mentioned, the COD reference, because that's something I would get into. God knows I've killed a lot of people with my Earthborn Renegade assault rifle. Be nice to rock like a golden skin, but yeah, glad Transmog's here. There's really not much to be angry about having Transmog. I think it's great. I think the way they implemented it is great. But yeah, definitely for the first few days or a week or so, it's going to be very, very difficult to know who's who in your library. You're going to be like a little confused.
Absolutely.
Moving forward, I know this one's been a community request since like the beginning of the game's release, but glad it's finally here. And that's the Tiago store. That has been reworked. That has been reworked. So, Maff, your thoughts on the Tiago store being reworked? Because I know back in the day, a lot of people in your chat especially brought this up as a topic, if I remember.
I mean, I think it's an alright thing. It doesn't really, I don't think it has much benefit for veteran players, but for anyone that like catches the game on a sale or it's, revisiting it after, hearing that it's fixed or hearing, that it's in a better state, it might benefit them fairly well.
So just to clarify, there's both a random legendary item and a reroll button.
Correct. So
yeah.
the
you can
random.
reroll.
Yeah. So the way it works is you get a mystery box, right? So you click on the mystery box. If you get what you're looking for, hey, congratulations, you got RNG on your side. If you don't, well then you don't, right? The reroll, what that does is it rerolls everything that he has up there, right? And then what happens is that it will give you a another legendary box, right? Because you re-rolled it. But now it costs quite a few. I believe it's 75,000. Okay. So if you're sitting there at like 999, well, you're gonna have about 9 tries, maybe 10, to try to, you know what I mean, get
Kane says it's 96,230 resources per
research
reroll, and
per
I believe
roll.
he got it from the teaser from today when they were going over that section, I'm sure.
Yeah.
According to the
Yeah,
new trailer.
according. Yeah. But I think the box is like 75 or so. I don't
Oh, the
don't
box
remember
itself?
too sure.
Oh, I see. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So there's a
So
reroll and you have to buy the box with additional.
box. Yeah, exactly. If you want to sit there. So that's basically you're giving up almost 200, 200K. So I think it was a smart way to do it. I mean, I know we had the concern about people just logging in, checking, and then leaving. Now is you can check if you want, but if you use up all your resources, guess what? You got to get your butt back into these expeditions and run the game.
Oh,
So
Kane says the mystery box is 47,360. My man Kane coming up with the numbers.
All right, that's good. For us on the test, it was about 75.
Oh, was it? Okay.
The
bad.
box. Yeah,
Well,
the box
this is
was
going off the
75
video
first.
that we have, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. No, absolutely.
That's available to the public.
They might have changed it, whatever the case may be. That's fine. I know they did tell us that wasn't going to be final product. They only gave us 100,000. So we went ahead and that's what we went with. So, but like, hey, that's good. But the concern about just logging in, checking if it's there, then not. I mean, that's not a thing. So,
One
good
thing I
job
did want
with
to go into a
Tiago.
bit more detail in this is, so you're guaranteed 3 weapons and 4 armor pieces to always be rerolled. And this is one thing that I think a lot of people might have gone unnoticed, at least from the change logs. But the minimum level that Tiago now spawns is 35 now, right? So if you're in the early game, you can access those legendary items a lot sooner after completing the campaign, getting into expeditions.
Absolutely.
And also one thing they mentioned is the mystery purchases don't have a minimum level. So if you get those drop pod resources and you're not level 35 yet or whatever, and you want a mystery legendary, you can just equip that right away, because I believe it'll be at the highest level that you are, according from. Because if you're always going to be able to equip it, it's going to be at your current level, right? So that's one of the advantages. So for the Tiago, for early game, amazing. For mid game, amazing. But once you're super late game, it's basically like trying to pimp your gear, right? Like maximum roll stats for everything. But for me, if you're an idiot like me and you didn't collect all the legendaries before, this is great, because now I have a chance to get my trespasser set with my drop pod resources. Fingers crossed. But I think the Tiago change, again, just like a lot of updates they added to the New Horizon update, there's really no cons to it, right? So I guess there's not much to be negative about here so far. One thing we should probably go over and our thoughts on, and this is kind of covered in the legendary loot drops and farming information, is what they did to Eye of the Storm, right? We talked about it earlier just a little bit, but I guess with the Tiago, I guess we can reference it here just a little bit more. But the fact that you can now choose, one, just like after completing the hunt, when you complete Eye of the Storm, you can choose 1 out of 3 legendary that pops up after completion. So it gives you more of a reason to go to Eye of the Storm, because before it was kind of just pointless going there, honestly, aside from the accolade, in my opinion. But this definitely, with the new changes and the new structure to how the legendary loot works for Eye of the Storm, and also how it gives you the most drop pod resources, might be a place worth revisiting for a lot of players now to target farm certain things.
It doesn't give the most.
It doesn't give the most drop pod resources?
Well, let me check actually.
Yeah, I know. I swear to God, that's what I saw. Like 71,000 versus the rest.
It does. Yeah, it gives you 75,000.
Yeah, but what's the
Yes.
cost?
40,000.
Yeah,
40,000. Oh, yeah, you're
4,000.
right. Oh, you're not. Yeah.
So
you
you're
don't get
getting
that.
more from doing Molten Depths than in Chem Plant
Yep.
Yep.
because there's no
Yeah.
cost.
Oh, yep. You're not wrong there. I forgot it costs 40K to get into Eye of the Storm. Oh man, it's been a minute, huh? Yeah.
Mhm.
Holy shit. Yeah. So it's still great to target farm though.
Yeah, you're gonna go like 35, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for legendary farming, it's a pretty great map now.
Yeah. But moving on, let's go ahead and go to the changes to the legendary sets where we can talk about a few things in more detail and where Palm will be able to bring his expertise in to the pyro section. I'm just going to get it quickly started off with the Trespasser set, which I'm really excited to try. We went over this actually a little bit in a past podcast, so I guess we don't have to spend too much time on this, but the new Trespasser set that's going to get added tomorrow is going to be with the new life changes, which is additionally to the players not being able to die in the slow bubble. Now, anytime you use a deception skill, which is either your slow trap, Venator's Knife, or Time Rift, you get increased damage by 6% per enemy affected by the deception skill. So this just makes Time Rift, in my opinion, even more broken. And I cannot wait to try the Trespasser set tomorrow. Because I think this will really help in trios where Trickster's damage lacks a lot. That additional multiplication, of the 6%, depending on the number of enemies hits, is going to be huge. But won't know until I get to try it tomorrow. But definitely looking forward to it. And definitely is probably going to make the Trespasser set become extremely meta, at least for duos and trios. I think for solo, you can really just do whatever because it's solo. But definitely interesting for sure. No downsides there.
Oh yeah, I mean,
sorry.
putting the damage multiplier on every deception skill is actually pretty massive, and kind of makes the build good with any. You could use Time Rift or Venator's Knife, and it would still be viable. So I'm pretty surprised. Honestly, it's a good change.
I want to see somebody run a slow trap, Venator's Knife, and Time Rift at the same time. Like run all three, try to get as many enemies as possible, and like an elite into it, and probably just one-shot the damn thing,
there's a cap. There's definitely a cap to the mechanic that's not said directly.
That would be amazing if there wasn't. Could you imagine?
Probably caps to 10 targets or something, 60% or whatever.
Oh man, if it was uncapped, that'd be interesting. Yeah, you're not wrong. I got a little too excited. Is moving to the Technomancer with the Torrential Downpour and the Gruen Venture set. I have no comments on this one just because I don't play AP Techno. So if any one of our expertise in these sets want to take it away, please feel free.
I don't think anyone here.
Wait, did you say Anomaly Power Techno?
Yeah, okay. So if you guys want to know more about the Technomancer updates,
no, it's okay. But basically, right, they just made Torrential Downpour, work better. They didn't really buff it. They just made it, less buggy and faster at doing the bonus damage. And they also changed Grim Inventor by basically allowing you to refill your minigun and RPG more often, or like with you cast Pain Launcher and you'll get max ammo on your RPG and minigun now instead of just 20%. So that's the changes for Techno.
Easy enough for me. But yeah, if you guys want I'll link down in the video description below for the YouTube for where you can find all these changes if you want to get like the nitty gritty details into it. But moving on to the Pyromancer here. We have updates to the Lava Lich set and the Reforged set. Palm, our pyro expertise here. You want to take it away, my man?
I don't know what any of these sets do, but I can. Let me look at it real quick. The Lava Lich set.
Lava Lich set. We'll start off there since it's not as in depth as the Reforged set.
The set bonus has had a cooldown reduction increased to 30%. It used to be 10%. I don't really know what that does, but
nice. Okay, so that's nice.
Nice expertise. Yeah. All right, we have our expertise. Palm. He's going to be taking a little bit of a break. He's taking a month break from the game.
Bro, I legit only play Akari. I don't know what nothing else does. I only play the Akari on Pyro.
I think the Lava Lich set was good for what, like is it phaser eruption? Help me out here, Pyro Pros.
Eruption. So
Eruption?
Lava
I
Lich is
haven't played
for
Akari.
eruption, right? So that basically with the cooldown is saying that the cooldown reduction has been increased to 30%. Right? It's just a cooldown thing. People that have been, I know a lot of people have been asking. I actually utilized it during the test. It seemed fine.
I mean, it doesn't change much. Let's be
Yeah,
real.
it does. Yeah,
Like,
it doesn't do anything,
the
bro.
multiplicative damage of Akari will always be better than a
Yep.
double more percentage reduction on
Yeah.
eruption.
Like-
sadly, so
like,
it changes nothing.
Honestly, at the end of the day, I mean, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do
Yeah.
anything. I mean, it looked good. It felt great when I was playing, because we did have these changes in there. But that's about it, bro. Like it was nothing out of the ordinary. Like it wasn't like game changing or game breaking at all.
The Reforged set is actually got a quick an overhaul to where it actually might look playable, but also I don't know what any of these things are, so we'll
Well,
just
the
let Big
problem
Daddy
with the
probably go through it
Reforged-
with a little bit.
Yeah, the problem with the Reforged set is that the whole idea is using Feed the Flames and Thermal Bomb as your
Mhm.
as your main
Yeah.
damage sources. So it's just these skills are not great to use. They don't have great utility. So I mean, it's an interesting build idea, and I'm sure people will have fun trying it out. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm not completely sure on how useful it will be because you have to think, right? Thermal Bomb only does most of its damage after you kill something, and Feed the Flames has basically negative AOE, so you're left with a build that's very single target and only does damage when it kills one thing. So it's like your whole damage is very situational.
Yeah. I just think the biggest thing with this, the Reforged set, is that it's now has anomaly power on it. So I think they removed the firepower perk, and they changed the attributes to better support the anomaly build. So that would be something that would have to be tested. And also the long range attribute is being changed to cooldown reduction and skill life leech. So it's gonna be one of those things where it's gonna have to be tested, taken a look at. But just dude with the blunt is right. I don't. I only see one purpose for thermal bomb, and that's fucking debuffing the ads so that way Plato Bear can kill him faster.
I did
it.
see some comments towards people that are actually unhappy about the Reforged set. So there's a few people, like, with any updates, there are going to be a few people that are a little bit sad for some of the changes that happened to some build that they were running. And oh my god, I just realized my cam is so blurry. What the actual... Sorry about that. Should be getting fixed there. But, just like with any updates come, just like with the Fortress and the Moaning Wind changes, change happens in a game, so you just have to adapt to it. And there was a few people unhappy about the direction that went with the Lava Lich set, but at the end of the day, personally, I think it's up to PCF on what they want to do.
What do you mean? Only reducing the cooldown? Is that what you mean?
Oh, sorry, I meant the Reforged set. Sorry, not Lava Lich. Apologize.
What are you even saying?
Oh no, I was saying that some people are unhappy with the whole change of the Reforged set because a lot of I'm just reading the comments from some people. Like a few people was set on a long range build, they're kind of out of luck. So instead of forcing people to play as intended from the start and nerfing AP, you remade the set to let people play the way they wanted, kind of thing. They just had some comments about it, just PCF's idea about the whole set in general. But I was just saying,
I ever heard anything like that.
I'm just reading the comments from people on the Reddit, to people that actually use the Reforged set, which, I mean, that's probably less than a percentage of people, like...
Oh yeah,
that
no,
actually use
let's
it.
be real. Like, this is an extremely underutilized set, and for an obvious reason. So and I'm sure people will still find some fun with it, but I don't see the value in this set personally.
Yeah, I still don't see value in this set personally either, or the Lava Lich set.
with-
Until they
with-
make some
with-
number adjustments. Akari is just going to be king.
It's just
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Akari is just too strong. It's just you just gain AP and you set to go. That's why I didn't know about it, because like literally when you play AP Pyro, you go Akari because it is the best set in the game, easily.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, sure, you can nerf Akari, but then like, do they want to do? I feel like they got to do actual sizable buffs. Because like these buffs look nice, but I don't think they really like everything they buffed here needs to be doubled in my opinion, to even come close to a fraction of what Akari does. You know, because Akari is just that strong. Like, it's insane how good it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, what's the reason of using a legendary set if it doesn't have a significant bonus to your damage? Because you're locking yourself to, 3 pieces that might not be 100% optimized for your build. And so
But you fall
you
into
need to gain something. You need to
yeah.
gain something from going the set. And I feel like they're definitely failing at that, at giving you a good reason to put on a legendary set. And they're working on it. They've buffed the Trespasser set, giving it 6% damage, which is a good thing. And somebody in chat is excited about the Reforged set because it will be stronger than it was before. They were going full AP on it, making it synergize where before it didn't synergize at all.
Mhm.
So I feel they are working on it. I just think they should really make it valuable to use a legendary set.
Yeah, it's a very good point. And they definitely showed that they are able to like mess with it with the Trespassers for sure. Because I wasn't expecting that with the Trespasser set, if I was going to be honest. Moving on to Devastator, there was one thing that somebody mentioned earlier in the chat that they added with Boulder Dash, just for the Deathproof set. But it's reduced the cooldown of Boulder Dash by 90% and increased firepower by 15% of armor. Was that added in the last time, the 15% of armor?
No, this is new. This is new.
This is new. Yeah, that's new, right? Yeah, okay. Anyways, take it away, all you Devastator.
Well, yeah,
folks
I mean, I
here.
was gonna say this is on the same vein, right? They're starting to add more damage on the legendary bonuses, and like that's what they need to do to make them valuable.
Right. Maybe we'll get to test out FP Devastator now and see if it actually can be a thing. And with the bottom part right there with the statue set, because I think you would run Boulder Dash, right? Oh well, no, Death Proof is its own thing, but
Yeah,
the statue set, it's its own thing. But the statue, I think that's something else to take a look at now that you're removing the skill life leech and you're replacing it with close range damage. I mean, like I said, these are good. I could see that they're going in the right direction, but with the conversation and the questions that I ask during the Q&A process after the testing, I asked them, and I asked Toby, and Toby asked Mr. PCF himself, and
PCF
the man, the man himself, legitimately, I watched him say, he says, right now we're not looking at touching Devastator or making anything. So we'll see how this works out.
I mean, I'll tell you right now.
From there.
I'll tell you right now. This is not gonna, fix the overall problem of armor penetration that Devastator, sorely lacks. They just need to, wake up and press the buff button on armor penetration for Devastator. That's literally all they need to do, and needed to be done a while ago.
I would tell you this. I mean, I think that right now it might be a different look, and just because the timer has been removed. So if an individual could put some type of Death Proof together or a statue set and be able to just complete these expeditions, then what does it matter, right? Because that's where we're at right now. You know what I mean?
I guess so, but it's hard like looking at all the other characters and seeing what they can do, and then looking at Devastator and seeing everything it should be able to do, because but it can't because it's just in such a rough spot. Like I get it's supposed to be like meant to be the tank of the game, right? And if you start tanks doing massive damage, and I can see a power imbalance there, but at the same time, like
but you're not tanky if you don't spec into being tanky. Yeah. That's something people misunderstand about Devastator. You can be squishy on Devastator if you're not spec'd into tankiness, right? So that's a mistake. That's a mistake, right? We need damage on Devastator, because if you spec into damage, you should be doing damage, not being squishy and worthless.
I don't know.
But if you look at it the other way,
pretty tanking itself within itself. Yeah, it is. I disagree with you there, because I've played Firepower Devastator, and I've still been managed to stand there and take a lot of,
I mean, I
take
guess
a
that's just
beating.
because it's Golem, right? Because
Well, no,
Golem
but
is such
like,
like a core ability to just take. It's just-
Exactly.
oh yeah,
So-
but sure,
Without
that's my
Golem,
point, right? Like in the skill tree, you didn't have any defense there. If you went top tree, right? Pure
But I
damage,
didn't need it.
and you had Golem on it as a skill,
Yeah, because Golem gave me
defensive skill.
45% more.
or you did spec into defense in some way. That's my point.
No,
Yeah.
the Golem gave me the what is it, 45%
Yeah, but you
more
chose
weapon
you
damage.
chose Golem as a skill, which is a defensive skill. So you spec into defense.
Right, but that don't mean that I need to change anything in the tree. I still have the survivability, because that's the thing that the Devastator has. He has a naturally he has more survivability than any other.
I mean, yeah,
Any
but
other
the
class.
passive buff is negligible. Like the
Oh,
passive buff
absolutely.
of it is super negligible. So it's not fair to say that it should be a trade off. That's my argument, is that the trade off should be in your spec. It shouldn't be on the class itself. That's my argument.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where I just say you got to be very careful, because you buff Devastator, now you have a class that not only is let's just say not even at par, but almost at par with everybody else. But that's the class that can take more damage.
That's
so
not
now
a
it's kinda-
problem, though. Well, you know what I
I mean,
mean? Like that is not a problem.
What's the downfall of it then?
I
Because
mean,
we
because
complain
they
about
can-
Fortress
right,
being
but
OP, right?
You can just change it in the future, though, right? Like a game is a never living thing. It's not because you do something that's ultimately a mistake that it's irreversible. You know what I
don't
mean?
know.
So I feel like they should be, a bit more on the, on best pressing buttons and seeing what happens instead of being.
I mean,
so
I'm okay with
careful.
them pressing the go
That's-
button. They need to press more go
Well,
buttons here.
absolutely, absolutely. I just think it's one of those things where you have to look and you have to say, okay,
Well,
what's
I think
the
they're wrong
purpose?
there. I think they're wrong there at being so careful. That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it's just we have to look at the purpose, and the purpose of that man is to be, I guess, pull aggro. I guess, right? So he's
Okay,
gonna
but
be a
that's
little bit
not-
more tanky.
Yeah, that's not a thing in the game, though. Pulling aggro.
I mean,
yeah,
no, absolutely.
unfortunately, it's not.
Yeah, no, 100%. But like I said, I think that's where you have to look, because now if we're gonna make this guy stronger, well, now what we're gonna take away from him? You know what
Nothing.
I'm saying? Well, you're gonna have to.
No, that's the thing. You don't have to do anything.
You can't. So now
I
you
mean,
got this
no,
guy
no,
that's
I mean,
powerful and
what's
tanky.
what's the that's fine. Let it be, because I mean, isn't
But no one
Techno
else is
powerful
that
and
way.
tanky at the same? I mean, you
Doesn't
look at
matter.
Technomancers,
Like nobody
right?
else is like Techno, right? Nobody
Yeah.
else has the power of Techno. So
Right,
just
but he's
switching
not
that
tanky.
power balance to Devastator, right, and making Devastator broken. That's just a different balance thing. Like games have different balance depending on time of day sometimes. So
No, absolutely. But
like,
I just
feel
feel
like
we're
you're over analyzing the situation, and they should change Devastator.
because now you're
And
taking the
nah.
problem and the issue that we have with Techno and you're putting it on somebody else's now. Now you're putting that problem on
No,
someone
that has
else.
nothing to do with it. I'm speaking grand picture.
Right.
Nerf
As well.
buffing something like and saying that will be a negative effect is just wrong.
I mean, all I
It's-
can say is every game that gets like live updates, like Outriders call it, not live service,
Right.
it's getting live updates. There's they always have meta shifts, right, where X is stronger, Y is stronger. So I see Big Daddy's point, and I wouldn't mind seeing Devastators being broken in this game. To be honest, it's their time to shine after all.
Yes,
They've been
they
literally
can
sitting in the
always,
shitter for half a
if
year
they-
now.
if they do something, they can always reverse it. Like
Exactly, just like week 1. Where they
like,
just nerf Trickster for no fucking
but they
reason.
learned from that. But they learned from that, right? They're like, okay, we can't do that ever again. Right? We can't do that ever again. So we have to look at it at that perspective, because you're not.
I'm
you're
just
not
saying the
solving
community
the
would not be in
solution.
an uproar if Devastator suddenly became OP. Is
I don't
all I'm
know. They're in
saying.
the uproar that Techno is OP.
Well, yeah, and then they can shut up about Techno, and they can be an uproar about Devastator, and let Technos fly under the radar.
So
It's perfect.
I mean, you
Perfect.
could argue that in hindsight, that first week buff was kind of useless. Didn't change anything really on the meta. Like
I will tell you this. I feel like kind of like honestly, and like I said, I'm just playing the other side of the fence. But at the end of the day, with the timer being removed, I think the conversation is kind of irrelevant because now it's like, hey,
Yeah,
you
no,
want to play?
I see it in that regard too.
Yeah, like you want to play Devastator? Here you go. Here's your Devastator. We gave it a little bit of buff. Now go have fun and take all the time that you need in the world.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
but I mean, then don't turn around and wonder why nobody's playing Devastator, right? Like, that's the way you need to look at it as a game developer. They have all the analytics, and if you put a class in the garbage and nobody plays it, don't turn around and ask people why that happened. Okay, that's my point basically.
But I think
Like,
we don't
that's
have
just a
that
really good
issue
point
anymore.
there.
You removed the time. Now you don't have that issue anymore. Now the
yeah,
people
but
that want to play
the
Devastator.
analytics will speak, though. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean, I
think
see that.
removing the timer will change people's playstyle.
Yeah, I don't want to remove the timer being a crutch for some of these because whether the
But it
timer's there or
is.
not isn't gonna impact like whether a class is shit or not, right? Regardless if the timer's there or not, we all know Devastator's shit. Okay, like sorry to all
Right.
the Devastator mains, right? But can it get there? Yes, but if PCS hitting the go button for certain other things, might as well just hit it for Devastator too at this point.
I mean, I just see it. I mean, and like I said, I'm just playing the other side of the fence. But if we discuss it that way, then if you're gonna hit the button for the Devastator, then you got to hit the button for every single other piece of legendary that every class has, because nobody uses anything else.
No, that's not the point. My point was, specifically that mechanic, which is armor penetration, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the pinpoint problem, I'd say, with
Right.
Firepower Devastator. I mean, there's a problem with AP Devastator, which is they don't have enough bonus AP in their tree. But
Right.
that's not the discussion. The discussion is, right, they
Mhm.
need more armor penetration to make Firepower builds just more fun.
So
That's my point.
I will tell you this: the reason why I give you what I'm giving you, because that's what was given to me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
okay
no,
with
I mean,
accepting the
and
fact that
my
Devastators are
answer
going to be
is,
left in
right,
the shitter.
my answer is you're wrong. My answer is
I
you're
don't.
super wrong.
I mean, yeah, and like I say, you have, but you have to sit there and you have to say, oh, well, okay, you see why they did it. You understand their position on what that class is supposed to be,
Yeah.
what it's meant for, and then you just say, okay, cool,
Yeah, no, I just
and
feel
you
like
move on.
it's definitely a cop out to say that, nothing needs to be done because the timer was removed. Like, that's
Well, not saying the
definitely
timer is removed, but now
definitely a
people,
cop out.
because their analytics basically spoke to saying that people were upset that they wanted the buff on the Devastator because they couldn't make the time. So we
Yeah, I
have to
mean, that's a
understand
fair point. I guess we'll see the analytics.
exactly.
But I mean, if you see a dev buff in the next months, you know why.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I hope we do see some dev buffs, and I hope we see some Firepower Pyro buffs while we're at it too. But speaking of buffs, they actually made some changes to mods as well. And mods got buffed, mods got changed and reworked. Starting off with our ever so favorite mod, that is the Fortress. It has now been reworked. It is no longer granting a passive 43% damage to everything just by having the mod equipped. It has now been reworked to shots increase your current armor and resistance by 5%, stacking up to 3 times. At maximum stacks, the buff is doubled and additionally grants 30% damage increase for 10 seconds. And the cooldown between the stacks has been changed from 1 second to 0.2 seconds with community feedback. And then the amount of stacks needed to actually proc Fortress went from 5 to 3, which I think is a really good change from what they originally had thought. And I think it's going to make it a lot more viable because the 1 second between stacks I felt like was going to make it a little bit more inefficient. However, this doesn't affect firepower builds that was using Fortress, in my opinion, too much. We'll find out more tomorrow when we get to actually test it. Where it is going to hurt is the Devastator, right? And it is going to be the Pyro when it comes to solo play, because as Pom and Big Daddy discussed earlier, Pyros won't really miss Fortress much in duos and trios. It's in the solo aspect where they will miss that damage increase for just having it there passively. But overall, we're going to kind of have to wait to see how the Fortress change actually works, I suppose, tomorrow. Because all we can do now is speculate. So, we'll see how it goes.
I'd argue that this is a buff almost for Firepower Trickster.
Oh, yeah, for Firepower
Right,
Trickster, this is hot. This is so
You're
hot.
losing what, 10% damage for how
the
much?
armors and resist stacking as well. So 15% armor and resistance stacking, and then you get 30% damage. So you get 15% extra armor and resistances at the cost of 13% damage, which I think is
Well,
great.
you get 30 actually because the buff is doubled at max.
Oh, it is
stats.
doubled. Oh, you're right.
Yeah, so you're trading a bunch of
Oh.
defenses for 10% damage. So you could argue overall for the the casual players, this is an overall buff, honestly, to firepower builds.
For firepower trickster, at least. I mean, let's be honest.
You could
the only firepower build.
You could slap but you could slap this on Techno as a defensive mod, right?
Oh, you could actually slap this on Techno as a defensive mod. You're not wrong.
That's it's surprising. It's a different option for Fortress now.
Yeah, it's not bad. Actually, I didn't even think about the armor and resistance double stacking. I thought it only applied for the damage. I mean, for Trickster, that's hot. I don't think the Riflemen are going to be able to one-shot you nearly as much, especially with the new addition that they made to the shield, which we get to later, a little bit later.
Well, also the resistance is good because sources of resistance are few and far between. So
yeah, I mean, if Diablo has taught me anything,
interesting change.
Resistances are hot. Sorry to make that Diablo analogy, but it's kind of fitting to this game a little bit. Moving on from the Fortress change.
Wait. So it's gonna take 0.6 seconds to get max stacks now.
0.6 seconds to get max stacks. Yeah, instead of 3 seconds. No.
It was 5 seconds at the first time. First time we spoke about it. Okay, so they also reduced the amount of max stacks. You get only 3 now instead of 5.
Oh, it's only 3. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's worth it. It's so worth it.
No. I mean, they just made it better in every way.
Yeah, they made it a lot better. Yeah. Did they fix bulletproof buffers? It wasn't in the change logs, Kane. What's Diablo UV? Yeah, it is what it is. The cooldown mechanics for universal cooldown. This is the next change that they made for New Horizon. This is an indirect nerf for Moaning Winds, and something that we probably saw coming.
I mean,
we discussed
this
on our podcast.
For kind of every mod, right? Because people were, using Tree Shadow comets at the start of the game. So yeah.
I mean, let's be honest a little bit though. I think this was targeting Moaning Winds a lot though, because after a while it really just became Moaning Winds as the triple mod with Fortress.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the real question is, can you triple stack Fortress and proc it on 3 different guns?
I don't think it'd be worth it, to be honest. But you can't cycle the mods anymore. Basically, you can't have 3 Moaning Winds and cycle 1, 2, 3, right? You have to be a bit more creative. Palm was talking about this earlier. Maybe use Radiation Splash now, 1 Moaning Winds with Radiation Splash, and then Shadow Comet and something else. So it brings that vision PCF had in mind, where people weren't just stacking mods, for the sake of stacking. You get a lot more creativity and build diversity, I suppose, out of this. But
I mean, it's a straight
because
nerf.
They made
let's be real, right? Like it's a straight nerf because
it's a nerf.
Think about it this way, right? Fortress also amplify the damage of your Moaning Winds. Compared to now, you lose Fortress, so if you use Moaning Winds, it'll do 40% less damage than before. So there's that nerf. They also fixed the Uphos bag of Moaning Winds, so now we were going to get to that a little bit later, but yeah, I know, man. Just while we're on it,
Yeah, that's fine.
They also changed that that Moaning Winds now does the same damage on client and on host, so that's another nerf. And lastly, they put the global cooldown on it, so there's 3 nerfs to Moaning Winds total.
However, there is one buff to Moaning Winds that they added back.
Sorry, I don't think that's a nerf. I don't think that's a nerf to where you're saying, hey, all right, now you don't have the difference of if you host or not. I think that's just a straight up fuck up. I don't see that as a nerf. I don't agree that we should call that a nerf because
true. No, I'm just saying in the gameplay of people though, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You're right, it's a bug fix. Okay, maybe calling it a nerf is wrong.
Yeah,
but in terms of number and player experience, it is a nerf.
Yeah, and I would tell you this much though, like, I mean, I don't think maybe people should just yeah.
I mean, my point is that this is a massive change to the meta. This is probably the most significant change in the entire update. Is this change, the update, the cooldown?
And a lot of people ask about this. A lot of people was like, hey, why do I have to sit here and work Moaning Winds? But hey, this is what they asked for, and I hope hopefully they come back and be like, nah, hey, you know what, put it back. They're gonna see the difference. I think the difference.
Right, the idea behind the change makes sense, right? Because we're speaking, we don't want people to use the same 2 mods on every gun. We want versatility, different utility. People to change to use different mods, use more of the game. So it makes sense from that point of view, but it's just from a gameplay style point of view, it is, it will be jarring at first, and
Yeah.
definitely, I'd argue an overall nerf on AP builds, and I'm sure some people would agree. So it's gonna take a moment to adjust, and I'm sure PCF, will probably change more numbers in the future relating to
Yeah.
this whole ordeal. But yeah, ultimately, I see the reasoning behind the change, and I agree with it to some extent.
Yeah. Boys, love y'all. Good show. But I gotta go to birthday dinner. I'm already 13
Hey,
minutes late.
no worries, my man. You're chilling. Well,
Oh,
we'll
sorry,
finish
man.
the end of the
Have
No,
a
podcast.
no,
good
no,
one.
no, no.
Get
You
back
guys
in.
do your stuff, man. Great. But real quick, chat. Make sure you checking out Play-Doh Bear. You're checking out Dude with a Blunt. You're checking out Maffeine, myself, Palm. When we start testing and tinkering with these builds to let you guys know what works and what doesn't work. So I appreciate you guys. Have a good one. If you guys have any questions, hopefully I'll be able to answer it for you guys at a later date. So
Capo, peace out, my man.
peace.
Oh yeah, also by making Fortress kind of, not unusable, but less efficient, let's say, or less fun to use on AP builds, they did buff every AP tree in the game to counterbalance the Fortress change. So now every AP node in your skill tree gives you 10% AP instead of 6% AP. So
True.
they did address the change to some extent.
True. They also added a lot more mod buffs this time around for New Horizon for weapon mods. To compensate a little bit for Moaning Winds, they increased its damage by 60%, right? So it went from 120 to 191. So we'll see how significant that is.
The Fortress loss of bonus damage, the bug, Aphos. So yeah, I think the damage buff to Moaning Winds was definitely needed.
Oh yeah, 100%. I never really used Concentration Blast. I think that's on the Anomaly effigy, right? But it also has its explosion damage increased to 27% now. And it also has its now max targets reduced by 4. So previously 6. So they buffed it and nerfed it in a damage sense, but nerfed it in an AoE sense in a bit as well. They also made changes to Ultimate Bone Shrapnel, increasing its damage by 14%. Don't still think that's going to get used. It's still a really bad mod. Bombs Ahead had its damage increased by 14%. I still don't see anybody using this. Legendary Minefield has had its damage increased by 11%. I still don't see anybody using this. Kinetic Stomp, on the other hand, having its damage increased by 34%. I think that's actually a pretty good change now that you can't cycle Moaning Winds, right? So that gives you another option. Weakness Trap, Palm was talking about this earlier, having its damage increased by 237%. Do you want to talk a little bit more in depth about this one, Palm? Because I know you had a few comments about it earlier.
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty good because it's pretty much, it works the same way like Shadow Comet does. Well, like if you hip fire into a group of enemies, you'll proc that shot off of every shotgun pellet shot, and with the damage buff that I think that it might be at, it'll be around like bone shrapnel damage around the 200k mark. So it'll be a really good mod now that you could just slap on your funeral pyre, and they're on the same cooldown too, so you pretty much can proc them at the same time all the time. So it's not bad. Not
Which
a bad
mod?
mod.
Sorry.
Weakness Trap.
Trapped.
Oh no, that's bad because weakness is useless.
Well, yeah, right now, but like it does explosive damage in the AOE.
Yeah, but I
That's-
mean, you're right. Every mod will be balanced to its bonus effect, and the bonus you're losing damage value to apply weakness, which is useless. So yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna slap it on funeral pyre because I don't know what else to slap on it right there. So that's what I was gonna do. Shadow Combat and that. Just double stack on the shooty mods.
The shooty mods.
Maybe, but I just think
Could work.
the damage will be too low probably.
Yeah, it could
Because
be
like right
good.
now, I'm pretty sure there's like 10k damage or whatever.
No, it's at 50k. Like with the math, should be close to like 200k. If the math is right, but see you tomorrow.
See tomorrow. Now, Sandstorm's an interesting one, having its damage increased by 42%. I don't think it's still going to be worth it at all because then you have to use
the way the mod works is trash in general because it's like when you shoot the sandstorm, it literally walks around the map, so it's just trash in general.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, disregard. Not exciting. Wrath of Moloch has had its damage increased by 37%. That's still going to be bad. I wouldn't recommend using Wrath of Moloch as a mod, honestly. I don't think it's going to make the mod any more than it already is. Scrap Grenade having its damage increased by 17%. Again, Doesn't really matter. Deadly Disturbance has its damage increased by 27%. I don't think that's going to be very, very worth it regardless. Ravenous Locust has had its damage increased by 50% from base dot tick per second. And then it also has its duration reduced by 4%. So same thing kind of like what they did with Concentration Blast, they did with Ravenous Locust.
I mean, Concentration Blast was actually a buff, by the way.
Oh no, it was a buff. Yeah, I'm just saying they nerfed the max targets too, but overall it is a buff.
Well, I mean, no, but it's still like, it's the way the mod works, right? Concentration blast multiplies based on the amount of targets, right?
Oh, okay.
But it still does the damage to every target inside the AoE.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, so it's just basically you do more damage with less targets now.
Okay, bad. Yeah, I didn't know it worked that way. See, today I learned. I don't use many mods. Radiation Splash. This one I think Pumpkin shed some light into. This is going to be the new go-to with Moaning Winds now, 100%. But yeah, Pomp, take it away for the Radiation Splash because this one's kind of huge.
Yeah, it's basically the same way. Like literally, it's a reload mod like Moaning Winds. The damage that it'll be doing in the next update should be basically what Moaning Winds is currently doing, or like slightly below it. But I think the special thing with that, I think like the mod, I'm pretty sure it applies the vulnerable first, then you do the explode, so you could kind of like buff your damage with the mod itself. So I was thinking of putting that on Animal with Moaning Winds, the way like you proc the vulnerable, then your Moaning Winds and Explosion would both get the, I think it's the 15% buff, right? From vulnerable.
Love my
stat.
mod, but oh my.
Damage multiplier on vulnerable, yeah.
Yeah, so that you would get that extra 15% to increase the damage even more, which would be pretty nice, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, what
So
I
that's
think
a really hot mod.
will be probably the next best thing to just having triple Moaning Winds is just having your guns basically separate, right? So you have one gun is your reload gun, you have another gun is your shooting gun, and who knows what we'll do with the pistol.
Yeah, it's kind of how I was going. That's what I was trying. Like I had Shadow Comet, then I had the Animal, but I just didn't know what they had to put on the pistol. The pistol was just.
I mean, clip
like,
combustion for one on the pistol, right? Wouldn't that still be?
Yeah,
like,
that's
optimal?
you can.
Well, yeah, but
go
like,
to.
what's the point of putting clip combustion on a pistol if you're not reloading it with something else as well?
Yeah.
Oh
right?
yeah.
So,
But I was also thinking you could go the ultimate damage link route on a pistol with some damage mode on it. You could go that route. But it's. So I think you could do ultimate damage link and death chanting. That's like a hot combo. Those two.
Yeah, you could proc your damage link and then swap to your reload gun and then shoot him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last change they have here for this is the effective gun shield mod has been changed. It will now provide a 30% increased firepower rather than a flat numerical increase. What the fuck was the gun shield mod? What did it do?
No clue.
Okay, well, it's probably useless.
Okay, it's an armor mod for the Trickster.
Oh, it is the armor mod for the Trickster. For borrow time, right?
time.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's interesting, I guess, if you're doing a firepower borrow time belt. What is it? What's the mod, the set?
Not sure.
Chrono Suit. I think it's the Chrono
Suit.
Chrono Suit, yeah. So,
but yeah, 30% increase in firepower? That's hot, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's actually pretty good. Nice. The rest of the changes they've already done. So that was what the new changes was for that. For the mods and the bug fixes. Let's go ahead and move on to now the class. Now, this is actually kind of interesting. This is the class tree change plus some bug fixes as well. The one thing that I'm going to start off with right away, Rathamolic's sister. the one thing that I want to start off right away with this is something that I think is going to make Tricksters even more tanky now that we went over with the Fortress, right? Getting a max up to 30% armor and resistances, plus what they are adding to New Horizon with the Disruption Shield. So what they changed for the Trickster's class tree is now anytime the shield provided by using a deception skill has been increased from 20% to 50%. So anytime you time rift, anytime you Venator's Knife, anytime you use your slow bubble, you now get 30% additional shield, just adding on to the more tankiness of the Trickster, which is very nice. Yeah, and yes, Palm installed the game for Mel. He did. So I think Disruption Shield is amazing.
That's
right?
the middle tree node.
Oh, it's the middle tree node?
Yes.
No! It's not top tree?
No, it's the middle tree node, the fucking middle tree capstone, you dumbass. So it's bad. It doesn't change anything. This dude, man.
yeah, can I
All
go?
right,
We
just
skipped
a
the
moment of
noticeable
reflection
bug.
there.
We skipped the noticeable bug fix that I would like to mention. Phoenix Force is now the
We're
best
not there
mod
yet.
in
We're
the
not
game
there
for
yet. We're not
Pyro.
there yet. We're
No,
not
you
there yet.
skipped it. Yes, you
Oh,
skipped
did I
it.
no,
skip
no.
it?
Skip
I don't think I skipped it. No. That's
you
later. That's late. That's the
Yeah,
skills,
yeah.
Palm. We're not there yet. We're not there
Oh.
yet. Yeah, Palm.
It's
Palm.
underneath
I
for
wouldn't.
what you mean. It's underneath for mods. What you
Oh
mean?
yeah, you did skip it. Yeah, you need.
I
To
did
scroll
skip
down
it.
down.
Wait, I
more.
did skip it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you legit skipped it. It's underneath for mods.
No, did I really?
Yeah, it's underneath for mods. Like,
Oh,
scrolling.
I forgot there was more because of the character limit. Sorry, we're not going to class trees yet. We're going right back to where we were with the mods. I'm so sorry. I completely skipped it because I didn't
what a
see it. Oh
dumbass.
my, I'm such a dumbass. I'm sorry, guys. Backtrack to where we were. We just finished off with Gun Shield being amazing. Let's go to more bug fixes to mods. All right, we'll get to Phoenix 4 in just a sec, Palm. I'm so sorry. Thank you for the call out, my man. Oh, fuck. So like Big Daddy was talking about earlier, they fixed the bug for moaning winds. So where it now does not deal different damage between host and client, right? So it now has the same damage as you would on host as you would off host. So no more like triple moaning winds damage or anything of the sort. Pretty simple there. Bug fix needed to happen.
I mean, interesting point is it was previously triggering twice for client players, so yeah, you were getting double damage.
The other
yeah,
bug
it
that they
made
fixed.
sense,
Sorry,
though,
go ahead.
you know? It kind of makes sense on why, like, I literally did 20 million damage with a morning wind hit before. Like, it
So
makes sense. 'Cause, like,
overall, yeah,
it's,
good bug
it's
fix.
insane how much the
It's okay.
damage.
It's okay. You can move on.
Yeah. So sorry. I had a comment to make, but I'm gonna let it go. For the bug fix. Okay. Fix the bug. The next bug fix was fix the bug that prevent mods inserted in armor from properly scaling with armor level if the armor was upgraded through Zahidi. This bug would fix itself after an area transition. Good bug fix to have. I honestly didn't really notice it and didn't really think that it was that big of a deal in the first place. Fix another bug that caused. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Skip the ones that aren't super meaningful, but they fixed emergency stance, right? Because previously,
yep,
if
that's
you
a
were
huge one.
knocked back while it procced, basically it didn't proc, so they fixed emergency stance, so that's notable. Also,
sorry, go
bullet
ahead.
absorption. The mod to replenish ammo on a firepower pyro was bugged and sometimes giving double ammo, so they fixed that as well. They also
This one's my
fixed
favorite.
the interaction with damage link and pain transfer, right? So before, if you shot a damage link bullet on a trickster's pain transfer, the game would instantly crash. So so that's a good fix. And also, last but not least, actually no, there's two left, but a pretty major change is the Phoenix Force mod for Pyromancer now works off host.
Yep, I don't think a lot of people actually knew about this. I think Palm was one of the first person. One of the first people actually figured
Phoenix
this out.
Phoenix Force is not a really popular mod, but
and I'm actually surprised that this got fixed and was actually noted. Like, props to PCF for this one. Wow. But Palm, explain how Phoenix Force worked before and like how they fixed it, because I think a lot of people would like to know, because it was such an underused mod.
What I noticed is that like it's weird because the mod worked in weird way, because like you could overheat randomly, and like you could see that it activates, and you'll get the anomaly symbol on your screen or like above your health bar, but you didn't get it. But like if you now tossed the heat wave and did it, you would get the buff, and then sometimes you wouldn't get it. Then if you was off host, you didn't get it completely. So like for whatever reason, sometimes you did it and didn't get it. But everything about the mod is that
what is the mod? What is the mod, Bomb? What does it
Phoenix
do?
Force.
How does it work?
Yeah. Explain that part for everyone. Yeah.
Oh.
Because not a lot of people use the mod, right? So back to me and just explain it in. Yeah.
Consuming a status effect, I think you gain 6,840 AP. I'm pretty sure. Let me check my spreadsheet. I'm pretty sure my AP you give.
It's okay. You don't need to be exact.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, it gives around 6,000 AP. But the thing is that it also scales off a card, so like you get even more AP from it. Because when I was doing my testing, you should only gain around 60k AP, but in reality, I was gaining around 100k AP from the full stacks of it. So I had like extra 40k AP when I have max stacks.
Yeah, so the mod basically, right? gives you bonus AP when you consume a status, so either Ash or Burn. And previously, this interaction only worked on O's. So basically, right, you casted Ash Blast, for example, and then you pressed Overeat, and you consume the Ash around you. But for whatever reason, Phoenix Force applies before the damage of Overeat, so you would get the bonus AP immediately, right? So that's the reason we were looking at Phoenix Force. But something we noticed is that Phoenix Force did not work off host, right? Whatever delay because of the lag on the status effects basically made the mod not work off host. But now it seems that it works all the time. We'll have to test it further. But basically, this is a great mod for AP Pyro. And if it works better now, that would be great.
Yeah, and I think what we need to notice is one of the things they mentioned in the New Horizon update 2 is they're improving multiplayer connectivity. So if they were able to fix this bug, then it gives me a little bit more glimmer of hope for tomorrow that when you go off host, it'll work as intended and may actually make the multiplayer experience a lot more smoother. Because at the end of the day, it always worked when you were host with Phoenix Force, right? The second you weren't host, it was the only time this bug appeared, at least to our knowledge. So them saying they fixed this bug gives me actually a little bit more positivity going towards the multiplayer changes.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's possible that a lot of the connection problems we perceive are actually bugs. Right? It's entirely possible.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see tomorrow, right? And we'll also do an updated podcast of all.
Also, a little notable change. A little notable change is that there was previously a bug that allowed you to constantly, you'd cast Borrowed Time and instantly cancel it, allowing you to get the bonus of one of the mods called Armor of Eons. And basically, you could cycle Borrowed Time on cooldown. And the duration of the buff was 10 seconds. So if you got your cooldown below 10 seconds, you could just, spam Borrowed Time and get infinite armor. So now they fixed that.
Which is good, because bug fixes do need to happen. Moving on to where we were earlier that I skipped ahead because I forgot the armor section. Disregard everything I said about Disruption Shield. It's still bad because it's middle tree. I'm bad because I don't look at any other tree than top tree. Sorry. And then Profit Squared, the healing provided from this node has been increased to 5% to 10% per ammo pack picked up. Wow, still a useless mod. I don't think anybody goes around picking up ammo to get healing provided in this game. I think in between the riflemen trying to one-shot you and the elites doing God knows what, I don't think you have time to even look at ammo on the ground. So garbage. Both buffs here are negligible. Technomancer sidearm adept. The weapon damage bonus provided by this node has been increased to 12 to 20%. Great for everybody that was running John Wick Technomancers, I suppose. You get free 8% damage. Pyromancer steady fire. The weapon recoil reduction provided from this node has increased from 30 to 40%. Again, negligible. They got the same sidearm adept treatment, which is also negligible. Now for Devastator, Profit Squared, I'm going to say is again negligible. It's the same thing as the Trickster. 5% to 10% of healing increased was the buff per ammo pack you picked up. Again, garbage. The weapon reduction provided by Steady Hands has also been increased from 30 to 40%, which is again is garbage. Wow, these little changes to the class trees are just bad. They're just really bad. I don't even know why they made these changes. Anyways,
yeah, I mean the only notable changes are the bonus AP.
Yeah,
and the gifted fix. The bug the class node gifted in the Pyromancer tree was bugged, so they fixed that. But yeah, I mean overall this is just them, looking at the worst skill tree nodes and buffing them, I guess, which is okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like Big Daddy said, one of the biggest things from this buffs in the class tree was all AP nodes have now been increased to from 6% to 10%. So 4% free anomaly power for every one of those AP bonus nodes and the gifted. Those are the only two notable things you guys need to know about that here. The rest are just, it is what it is.
And yeah, the AP change is like a counterbalance to the Fortress change, but sadly it will only buff your skills, won't actually buff your weapon mods. So that's kind of the trade-off of the nerf.
Yeah. Moving on, we're almost actually close there, guys. We're now going to the skills and bug fixes, right? These are just, again, they're okay. But what they're adding to the New Horizons patch is for some of these bug fixes to skills. For Tricksters, Hunt the Prey, They fixed the bug that could cause tricksters hunt the prey ability to lock up under certain circumstances. I really hope that's true, because every single patch prior to this that they've said they fixed this has made it either worse or performed just about the same, which is hunt the prey still is kind of ass to use, even on host, especially off host. The Devastator's Impale skill now no longer blocks obelisks from continuing to charge up while impaled enemies present. Great quality of life change. The description for Endless Mass now also mentions slow status effects that it inflicts. One thing that I didn't mention them saying anything about in this patch regarding the Endless Mass was the hitbox fix for when you're shooting it with firepower. So Endless Mass, if you don't remember, a patch ago was buffed to where you could still shoot enemies or deal damage to enemies while they're in Endless Mass. But we quickly found out that this only applied to anomaly power damage because the hitbox was broken. So when you would shoot things that were Endless Mass, they would be immune. So something that I want to do see tomorrow to see if they actually fixed, or if it's on the timetable for another time, or if it just went unnoticed. Another bug fix that they fixed was fix the bug that would prevent Technomancer's Cold Snap skill from freezing enemies if it was triggered while the player rolled off an edge. That's great because I did that a lot. Fix the bug that could cause Technomancer turrets to fall through the ground if they were thrown too low or too high. Great quality of life change. Added the icon for cryo turret. Whatever. That no one cares about that. One other thing that they mentioned for Trickster for the New Horizon update is something that I'm not 100% sure on, Big Daddy. Maybe you can enlighten me. A new effect for the speed boost mod. I've actually never used the speed boost mod. That has been added to the existing effect. Yeah. Yeah. Allies within the sphere receive 0.2 movement speed bonus. Negligible. That you have to run slow bubble for this, I think. So at the end of the day, it's kind of ass in general. But that's really all the changes that they have in terms of for skills and bug fixes. Some of them pretty notable. The Hunt the Prey one really intrigues me, and hopefully they actually fix Endless Mass. Thank you, Identity. Quality of life improvements. Let's go to this. This one's actually pretty okay too, I guess. But not really, I guess. It's just some nice fixes that they added because they could, right? You can now skip the opening video. Great. Wait. Almost. Oh, this is almost good. The video that plays when launching Outriders can now be skipped on all platforms except for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Really amplifying why you shouldn't get this game for old-gen consoles.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, the reason is for load times, right? Like
it's for load times.
Trying to hide the crazy load times behind the cutscene, basically.
Oh, that's so good. Added quick mark functionality to vendors. That'll be pretty nice. Improve the readability of mod descriptions. Great, I guess. Reduce the volume of background audio in certain menu and loading screens, which is great, I guess. And then they greatly improve sign-in speeds, which I guess I'll see when we see it. Oh no, that was already done. Never mind. But yeah, not really notable for the quality of life improvements. But hey, they're free, so I guess you really can't complain too much about that. The last bit that we have here is just the celebration package details for a New Horizon. This is kind of lackluster. Basically, you're just getting an armor legendary that you don't have before. That's not the cannonball set. No cane. So the mouse acceleration stuff, you still got to mess with the local files. I don't think that's something that's on their radar, but something I will mention now that I actually am able to mention. There's a few lists on my bucket list that I want to post in the official ambassador Discord in Outriders, and includes the mouse acceleration without having to mess with the local files, because I think that's huge for keyboard and mouse players. But yeah, we're really excited, all of us here, to check out the update tomorrow, and we'll of course do another podcast of all the changes that we've seen, any new bugs that might appear from our time testing the new update. So maybe sometime this Friday or something like that, we'll have another podcast episode going over our thoughts of the latest patch and everything like that. But I think that covers all the changes from today's announcement of the New Horizon. You know, it's a free DLC. You're getting 4 new maps. You're getting Transmog. You're getting no more timers. Legendary drop rates have been changed. Either Storm Pog if you want to grind certain legendaries you don't have anymore. Changes to certain legendary sets. Changes to mods and bug fixes. Class tree, bug fixes, scales, bug fixes. Oh, one thing I did want to mention. To all 10 of you playing on Stadia, you're getting this update as well. Okay, to all you Stadia players. And you can now cross-play with every platform on Stadia. So to the 10 of you still playing on Stadia, welcome to the party. Glad to have you here finally. And yeah, overall, great announcement, great update. Now, just knock on wood, fingers crossed that PCF will deliver tomorrow, and it's not going to be a shit show after the patch, because that would suck. Everybody's excited to play it. They made the announcement. The game has a discount on Steam. The game's on Game Pass for Windows now. Stadia is cross-platform. They're trying to get all these players back. If this goes bad, the Worldslayer announcement for 2022 will kind of lose some of the hype, in my opinion. But overall, on paper, this looks great.
That's probably the one thing I'm worried about.
Yeah. On
Like
paper, it
the
looks
multiplayer, like
really
with
great.
all these new changes they add into the game, I'm worried like how the game will handle it. That's why they add like a lot of stuff that seem like it could have caused more bugs to happen. But like I'm hopeful that they.
I'm hopeful, right?
Oh
Because
yeah, like transmogging,
Yeah, 'cause I
transmogging an
feel
item
like
and getting 4
yeah,
mods.
yeah, I feel like transmog is such like it's a lot of coding you gotta do. I feel like something went. I feel like I don't want to say, but I feel like hoping there's no major bugs or some shit breaks or like people lose their items again. I'm hoping they fix that core issue.
I mean,
'Cause
I
it
don't know.
suck.
I don't know about massive problems, but I'd expect a couple exploits to come out of this, honestly.
Yeah, cause like I hate for them like to have like a massive bug come out that's just leaving another sour taste in everybody when they try to regain the trust back. You know, like I'm hoping this update comes out polished well. That way they can actually have something to be happy about. Because it's been a rough ride for this game. And this could be like a new beginning for it. New Horizon they calling it. Whoa. Which makes sense for the setting. 'Cause it makes sense for the setting of the name though. You think
Well,
about
yeah,
it
I
like
mean,
that.
they started the trailer with Endgame 2.0, so
Yeah.
obviously from their point of view, they're trying to rebrand the Endgame in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm also, all I'm hearing is great. I just hope that, like you said, there's no major problems that hit us in the face when we start playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that we're not ending on a negative note. We're just ending it on a note where we have to be cautious, right? I mean, it's not a negative note at all. Like, we are all excited for this update and what it's going to potentially bring, get people hyped up again for that Worldslayer DLC in 2022. But we have to be overly cautious with how they've delivered as far as like updates go in the past, right? That's I think that's one thing that we can't be super excited about until PCF can show us that this patch is going to go smooth enough, right? I'm expecting this patch to have a little issues here and there, but overall, the launch has to go good. The connection to the servers has to go good after this patch, because you're going to get a lot more people piling on these servers that have not been touched in a long time with the amount of people that are going to be coming in. And if you see somebody who quit the game and came back in, they're excited and they go into multiplayer, they can't sign in on their Xbox, their game crashes, God forbid their items disappear again, like Pom said. But most importantly, if the multiplayer issues are still present and they're teleporting and rubber banding around the map, that's going to still put a sore thumb in, and they're probably going to be less hyped about the new campaign update, which got me really hyped for Worldslayer that's going to come in 2022. But again, like, we're giving PCF credit where credit is due. It's a great update. Everything here on paper looks good, well enough. It's free, for crying out loud. Not a lot of people can probably accept, really appreciate the fact that it is free. But overly cautious, but excited as well. Excited.
But yeah, I mean, ignoring, trying to ignore the past and everything. And all the amazing features they're adding, I'd say the only thing that maybe worries me is the quality of the new maps, right? Like, that's the only failure point I see in all their changes is, if the new maps are in any way buggy or, not up to par. That's the only thing that worries me. But overall, I think every changes will just make the game better. People will be able to get the items they want easier. People won't have to worry about timers. And so, yeah, I think overall the game is in a better state than it will be before the update. I'm just worried at the reception of the new content.
But yeah.
What about you, Maffeine? You got any closing thoughts?
I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, I've taken a long break from it, so it'll be interesting to see what a little extra content, maybe one last hurrah before the expansion next year. Spend a couple weeks, maybe a month playing. Be nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main point of this update, for my closing thoughts, honestly, is to get us all hyped for Worldslayer. One thing they fucked up with the Worldslayer shit, I don't know why they didn't show that at the end. The Worldslayer, why they just showed it at the beginning and then said you're only getting New Horizon, right? That part actually triggered me, because when I saw like that Worldslayer part where they showed Moloch's sister, we're just gonna call her Moloch's sister, okay? She's probably not Moloch's sister, but she's Moloch's sister. We saw Moloch's sister, and then they said coming 2022, but then they're like New Horizon coming now. So I'm sure that confused the shit out of a lot of people, because that confused me for a quick second too. So they really probably should have just showed that at the end, saying that's coming.
No.
You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
because
after.
you're mistaken. You're mistaken, because they showed the showcase trailer,
Oh,
which is just a 2-minute like video, and at the end of that 2-minute video, they showed Worldslayer. Right? So
that's what I'm saying. They should have kept Worldslayer alone and just showed the 10-minute teaser at the end.
No. You're the only person that was confused by that.
No. Fuck that. That confused me.
Yes, you were the only one.
But yeah, Pom, any closing thoughts for you to my man, the guest of honor today?
Closing thoughts. I mean, like, from being as someone who seemed to be always negative about the game, I'll be definitely playing it. I'm not like, I'm excited, but I'm not like, woo, I'm super excited. Like, no, I'm excited, but I'm skeptical. It's like I'm not going in there with like super high expectations. Like, my expectations went up a bit, but I'm not, because like the saying they past track record, you just can't gloss over it. It's something I can't gloss over. Like, I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt that it'll be a good update.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I'd say that even if with their track record and ultimately the quality of this update, I feel like them not only doing this update but also announcing the expansion shows some continued support for the game, which
Yeah, too. Cause like if I would compare like,
Cautiously excited.
cause like this game kind of was like in the same position as like Anthem, and like knowing that Square Enix isn't just gonna pull the plug, as it gives me hope that they actually believe in the game. Instead of EA, like they just pulled the plug and didn't really give Bioware a chance to really see if they could fix the game. So I kind of like that, honestly.
Yeah, I'm glad, honestly, for all the shit PCF has gotten from the community, from the player base, from even editors, and for all the content creators that are shitting on the game, like for them to just own up to it and to tell them, well, this is our passion project, we're gonna see it through, is really something nice to see in 2021 from from the developers, honestly. Getting a lot more out of Outriders than I thought was possible, so that's great. They had it as a one and done game, and here we are, free DLC, patches later, announcing a new expansion coming in 2022 as well. But yeah, cautiously excited for tomorrow, and fingers crossed everything goes smooth. And yeah,
I want to go back to the Worldslayer thing, okay? To defend myself, they didn't put it at the end because of people clicking the stream, watching for 2 minutes and clicking off, okay? That's why they needed that little clip, 2-minute clip, to get people in it. So that's the reason they didn't.
Okay, yeah, Big Daddy also makes a point too. I'm sure a lot of people stuck around after seeing that Worldslayer. Yeah. Okay, from a marketing point of view, I see it. But from like a ooh, we got that one more thing coming. Like
not even there, right? Not to the point that somebody that watches only 2 minutes and then clicks off the stream, they want all the information as fast as possible. So yeah,
true.
I understand why they did it like that.
Yeah, okay, we'll agree to disagree. I still think in the end would have been more hype,
Well,
Say
but,
fuck it to the people who left 2 minutes later.
You're speaking as somebody who's like, watching the entire broadcast and listening intently to each word. That's my point.
But no, honestly, guys, today was a great day. Today was, gives hope for all the Outriders fans that have stuck around. Like, especially for all us diehards, I think this is a really good Christmas present, you can say, from PCF, right?
And I mean, it's a good move all around, and it shows shows that they're listening and just builds community trust. So let's hope for more.
Yep, and the fact that actually I didn't mention this, but they worked together with Boss to have assets ready for him to launch his app alongside the game tomorrow too. So I'm gonna see a lot of devs doing that. So if any of you guys don't know, Boss's Outriders app will have like everything from the update already in there.
Speaking of of his app and whatever they added, we should do some speculation about the weapons that are coming. So there's no legendaries coming, right? Like
there's
nothing coming in terms of legendaries. There's only purple weapons.
Yeah, purple or maybe blues and greens too, but probably just the purple.
Well, yeah, but like they just added a new set like of styles of weapon, basically.
Yeah, it's literally just for Transmog. I think they added it for.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
Just want to clarify because I've heard people say, legendary weapons. As far as we know, there's nothing new in that area.
There's going to be no new legendaries added in the New Horizon update, unless they would have definitely announced that. No new legendary weapons, armor sets, mods, nothing like that. It's just purely cosmetic,
right?
For purple items.
The only change I'd see is maybe the new purple weapons of different stats, but probably not. It's probably purely cosmetics, and basically there's no changes in items.
Yeah. If anything, new legendary sets being reworked, adding possibly a new character to the game. That's all going to be in the expansion in 2022. And, even I don't know anything about it. Hopefully, my hope now that I am an ambassador and so is Maffeine ambassador and Kappa, hopefully we'll all be able to partake in the playtesting for Worldslayer. Now, that would be amazing. But that's going to be a ways away. But that's it for today's podcast, guys. I hope everybody enjoyed. It was a little bit of a long one, but we did have to cover a lot of the changes. We'll have another one this week, I'm sure, to go over all the changes and to see how this patch went, how the fixes went, how the maps are, and all the changes. As usual, you can find me on twitch.tv/PlatoBear and my YouTube, since you're already watching this video. You can also follow me on Twitter, PlatoBear, Instagram, PlatoBear if you really want to, but it is what it is. You can find Capo on twitch.tv/Capo167. He has a YouTube too, but he hasn't uploaded a video in 3 months. I'm calling you out, Capo. This was, you could have uploaded a video for New Horizon, just saying. Could have gotten some views, And Maffeine, where can everybody find you, my man?
Just on Twitch at Maffeine.
Twitch Maffeine?
Yep.
And Mr. Dude with a Blunt, where can people find you, my man?
Oh, you can find me on YouTube and Twitch at Dude with a Blunt.
Yep. And Pomeroni Pepperoni, where can people find you, my man?
You can find me on YouTube and Twitch at Pomerons.
That's Pomerons. Yeah. If you guys want to watch some Pogger's Pyro gameplay, I should check his stream out whenever he streams, which will be every day now that Outriders has getting some fresh new content. So.
Whoa, I don't know about every day.
But anyways, thank you again, guys. Thanks for tuning in to episode 11.
I mean, if we start speedrunning again, maybe, but I definitely should be tomorrow to do testing.
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely. I'm sure we'll get to speedrunning. But yeah, thank you for joining for episode 11 for the podcast, guys. And we will see you most likely later this week for episode 12, where we do go over the more changes. But until then, peace.